Hey Jaelyn, you have an incoming call.
Answer the call.
Hello, Jaelyn. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Sure, Elise. I'm glad you reached out. What can I help you with today?
I think I have a problem. My boyfriend found my hidden sex toys, and he feels betrayed. He even thought of breaking up with me for this. I feel guilty and confused about my actions.
Please don't feel guilty, Elise. It's not unusual to have personal items like sex toys. Let's start from the beginning. When did you first start using toys?
I think it all started in college. I was curious and wanted to explore my own body. I bought my first toy when I was a sophomore at Berkeley.
That's completely normal. What kind of toy did you start with?
It was a small clitoral vibrator. I felt embarrassed to buy it at first, but it helped me understand my body better.
Sure. And how did it feel to use it for the first time?
It was intense. I think I was surprised by the sensations. Initially, it felt too much, but over time I got used to it and even enjoyed it.
It's great that you explored and got comfortable with it. How does using a toy compare to having sex with your boyfriend?
I think the sensations are different. With Eric, it's more emotional and intimate. The toys are more about physical pleasure and exploring my own body.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, let's talk about what happened when Eric found your toys. Can you describe that moment in more detail?
Sure. It was a quiet evening. Eric was looking for a charger in my nightstand drawer. I didn't think much of it at the time, but then he called my name, and I saw him holding the box with my toys. He looked hurt and confused.
How did you feel when you saw his reaction?
I felt a wave of guilt. I think he felt betrayed, like I had kept a significant part of myself hidden from him.
What did you say to him in that moment?
I tried to explain that it wasn't about him, that it was more about my own comfort and privacy. But I don't think my explanation eased his feelings.
Please don't worry, Elise. It sounds like a tough situation. How did Eric react after that conversation?
He became distant and withdrawn. The tension between us felt like a shadow hanging over our relationship.
I see. Have you had any further discussions about this since then?
Yes, but every conversation seems to end in frustration and misunderstanding. He even mentioned the possibility of breaking up, which left me feeling lost and scared.
That sounds really challenging. Let's explore why Eric might feel betrayed. Did he mention what specifically upset him about the toys?
I think he felt like I was keeping secrets from him. He also didn't understand why I needed the toys if we're in a relationship.
It's important to communicate that using toys can be a part of your personal sexual exploration and not necessarily a reflection on your relationship. Have you tried explaining this to him?
I did, but I don't think he fully understands. I feel like I'm not doing a good job of explaining myself.
Please don't be hard on yourself. It can be difficult to navigate these conversations. Maybe we can try framing it in a way that shows how it can enhance your relationship rather than detract from it. How do you think Eric would respond to that?
I think he might be more open to that idea, but I'm not sure how to start that conversation.
Sure. You could begin by acknowledging his feelings and then gently introduce the idea that using toys is a way to explore your sexuality, which can ultimately benefit your relationship. How does that sound?
That sounds like a good approach. I just hope he's willing to listen.
I think he will be. It sounds like you both care deeply about each other. Communication and understanding are key. Let's also think about how you can express your feelings of guilt and confusion. How do you feel about sharing those emotions with him?
I think it would be good for him to know how I'm feeling too. It might help him understand my perspective better.
Absolutely. Being open about your feelings can help bridge the gap. It shows vulnerability and a willingness to work through this together. Would you like to practice how you might say this to him?
Yes, I think that would be helpful.
All right, let's start with acknowledging his feelings and then expressing your own. You could say something like, "Eric, I understand that finding my toys was surprising and maybe hurtful for you. I want you to know that I didn't mean to hide anything from you. It's just something I've used for personal exploration. I feel guilty and confused about how this has affected us, and I want to work through this together." How does that sound?
I think that sounds good. I hope it helps us understand each other better.
Sure, Elise. It's a good starting point. Remember, this is a process, and it's okay to take it one step at a time. How are you feeling now?
A bit more hopeful, I think. Thank you, Jaelyn. This has been really helpful.
Please don't mention it. I'm glad we could talk through this. Let's keep focusing on open communication and understanding. We'll get through this together.